Welcome to the Bougie Multipreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Hillary Heschauer Jones. Tune into my show where we discuss how to attract more money so you can spend more money. Welcome back to another podcast with me. I'm Hillary with the Bougie Multipreneur. Today we're going to talk a little bit about accountability groups. So who listening has an accountability group or has had one or wants one or is like, what the heck is this woman talking about again? So an accountability group is literally a group that is going to hold each other accountable, right? What's great about this is you can do it via phone, via Zoom. You don't have to meet in person. So for people like you and I that are maybe busy and can't do a lot of like meetups, this is great. I love doing it via Zoom also because then you can see each other's faces and, make funny pictures and laugh when their phone freezes because they're in a bad area traveling and they get stuck on the phone with their mouth open and paused. That's always great, right? But I love an accountability group. Let me tell you a little bit about mine that was started years and years ago. And you can come up with a fun, catchy name if you want. You don't have to. You could make a little Facebook group too. You could just have a texting thread. You could do a little group on Facebook Messenger. That way you could send messages back and forth to each other. Literally, an accountability group could be anyone that's in your business, right? Or it doesn't even have to be your industry. So for an example, one of my main businesses is chiropractic, right? I don't have to have an accountability group with all chiropractors. It could be other service-based individuals, like let's say massage therapists or something that complements chiropractic or has maybe even the same target audience and ideal client or patient as me. That way we can bounce ideas back and forth off of each other. We actually don't even need to be in the same area. But if you are in the same area, you could host events together. So there's so many endless possibilities for an accountability group. We'll just start with some basics. So once you figure out some people, I would say anywhere from 4 to 6 is a good number. I've had groups with more. I've had groups with less. For me, that seems to be the sweet spot. I would suggest having a reoccurring time slot on the same day, same time. So whether it's every Thursday at noon or the first and third Thursday at noon, something that you guys will remember over and over again. It's hard to keep changing it from day to time to week, and then people will drop out. I also, hold them accountable to actually showing up for it and not just saying oh, something came up, I can't join. If I were you, and I have been in this situation before, is find the people that are as excited about doing it as you are and who is going to stick with it. So the people that drop out and don't make the phone calls, maybe fill their spot with someone else that wants that. So not to be harsh, but some of us are very diligent about their appointments and being there on time, as myself is. I'm a very type A like that. And there's other people that are going to be oh, something came up, I can't make it. And they do it over and over again. And it's difficult on an accountability group to not have that consistency, right? So really think about who you want to join, get at least a couple other people and have them bring someone into. Keep it consistent with the day and the time if you can. For the most part, try to do that. I also like during the day, during a lunchtime, because after school, after work things, it was so different and dependent on what the family had going on. It was hard to commit to an evening for me, but during my lunchtime, I could literally eat and chat with them at the same time over Zoom. That has always worked out well for me. You could, for instance, say every other week, Thursdays at noon, we're going to do this. You could have topics. You could listen to a podcast, say the Bougie Multipreneur podcast, and you guys could discuss it. You could pick other business type of podcasts and everyone listens to a certain episode. Then you can discuss it the week after that. You could have even books. of your almost like a book club, if you will, on an accountability, but more business related, where you guys are really pulling out things, not just, oh yeah, I liked it, but like, what are you going to do to implement it? So I would suggest even going around, and at some point, everyone in the group, each call gets to give something to the group that they're working on. Like, I'm working on building this event. I need 5 vendors, etc. This is what I'm going to do to find them. And then I would hope that my group would hold me accountable to that and say, Hillary, did you get a hold of your vendors you need for your big event in May? So this is why I call it like an accountability group. You could pick one person for in each group. Like, I would maybe be an accountability partner with Jane. She would be mine, and 2 other people in the group would match up, or it could be in one large group thread. So I've done it mostly in a large group thread, which is why I like Facebook Messenger, or you can do some kind of texting group. But keeping people accountable, I used to take notes and write down what people are working on so I could reach back out and ask them. This is like one thing that I do with my business coaching that I do, is a lot of the accountability, because for some reason that seems to be what a lot of us lack, is the accountability to doing our actions and our tasks. And so, if I have to say, like, Jane, if you didn't do the task you're supposed to do, you're going to have to Venmo me $10, something just to motivate people. And we laugh about it, or I've literally gotten money Venmo to me before. So, have fun with the accountability group. That way you enjoy doing it every week, every other week. It could be, like I said, the different industries. So maybe you need to, at the beginning, also learn about the other people in your group a little more and their business. So maybe the first few, it's more of like a 10-minute per person, just talking about their business, where they are. So that way you know where to start. After years of doing an accountability group, the people in your group, who's going to do what they said they're going to do and who's not. And so you'll know, like, I'm going to have to keep track of him because he is not going to do what he said he needs to do. And so it's great. Accountability groups, are fun. They're a free way to get the accountability. But also, let's say you are someone in the group that has a business coach yourself. Why not even ask your business coach to pop in on a call with you guys and discuss something business-wise, or that everyone's been trying to work on, let's say, growing their business, and they would like an outside perspective on increasing revenue and sales. Use some of the people that that are in your life already as, speakers, or specific topics that you want. Like, let's say you are not good at Instagram and you want someone to give you guys in the group some tips on that. There's got to be someone that or with all your connections that could talk to the group, for 30 minutes or something like that. So there's a lot of endless things that you could do with an accountability group. You could have all topics listed out. You could do that, like I said, the books. You could bring in different speakers. And even after each, let's say, event that you go to, like doing like a recap, or like, I just went to an event called Scale Up, and I would love to just tell people all about it, all the things I learned, and go back in my notes, and just like give a little summary or synopsis for everyone. And, just think, if everyone did these different like networking groups, marketing groups, different seminars and conferences, you guys could have a lot of information between everyone to share and really get some things, just sharing all the information around. Like, it's not new information. A lot of it's just rewashed and repackaged and presented again in a different way, right? I'm sure a lot of things that I tell you on this podcast, you maybe have heard before or read before. Heck, I have. But sometimes the way it is said, or if it's that point in your life, it will spark you, then it was meant to be. So accountability group, love him. Love doing it years and years with the same people. Don't be afraid to add people to your accountability group, or gently remove them, or suggest maybe they start a different accountability group. Or let's say it's someone that just had like a new baby and they weren't they weren't able to get on as often. Maybe they need an accountability group that's less intense, right? More of a once a month accountability group. Point being, I think we all need these accountability groups. And if you have never been in one, you might be thinking, well, that sounds like a lot of work. Once you get going, it's pretty easy. It's fun, really to learn about each other. And even like I love reading books. For instance, what book do I have right here? I've got a new book that I'm going to be reading called Thanks for the Feedback. Can't wait to see how this is. But how fun would that be if after everyone read a book, even if it wasn't the same book, that they told each person in the group about it? Or when I was reading it, I was thinking about different people in my accountability group. That's what I would do in these groups. I'm sure there's a lot of other things to do. Try to stay focused, try not to do a lot of complaining. You know how I feel about putting positive energy out there, right? The universe is going to bring it back. I definitely feel like that is something that has really improved my life and my businesses is speaking the positivity. So, be positive in the group, use more like I can and I'm going to things and not a yes, but I don't like this or that. Like, get everyone on the same page, literally page in the book or not, and create a group that, can push you guys further, it's kind of like friends too. I hate to bring this up, but you want to surround yourself with people who are positive and going in the same direction that you are and not pulling you back. In your accountability group, like I hate to say it, I'm not trying to be mean like this, but you really need to surround yourself with people that are going forward and are positive and that will inspire you and you will inspire them and you are like-minded. So again, it doesn't have to be like for me, all chiropractors, but I need people in the same industry, so to speak, that are working directly with people one-on-one so we can talk about like relationships with like customers, that type of thing, what it's like to own a business, what it's like to manage a team, things like that. So really think about what you have going on and like who could match that up with you. So could be all sorts of different type of accountability groups going on here. I think you guys should find a cute name for it. Could be something like the Badass Accountability Group, something fun like that. Find a way to keep in touch with each other, not just through the calls, because you'll want to follow up and you'll want either just texting or Facebook Messenger, Instagram, like make a group or something like that, and just keep on top of each other with the accountability. It's free, it's not something as a business coach, I own HHJ Consulting. So I do a lot of business coaching and, you get what you pay for. And I do think though, accountability is a great way to start off. So if you are someone that needs some direction, start an accountability group, get the people in there, maybe the people that inspire you or the people you look up to, see if they'll join the group with you or at least come in and talk for a little bit. Again, like having a little 30-minute speaker joins your Zoom call, things like that. And one funny thing is when we started this years ago, we all had the free Zoom. We had to upgrade the free Zoom because I think at the time it was only allowed us like 40 minutes and our calls were like an hour. So little tip there, don't get cut off on the Zoom, and really, really have fun getting to know people and making notes so you can go back and say like, Hillary, I heard that you're going to purchase another practice. How's that going? That we'll remember what people are working on and you can, keep them accountable just like you would want to be kept accountable too. So I hope that this sparks some interest for you guys for some accountability groups. As always, reach out to me if you have any questions. I feel like the possibilities are endless for an accountability group. Keep them positive. Keep the group together and focused. Less talky on weather, more talky on business, right? So thanks again for listening and watching me if you're watching this live. Click subscribe so you don't miss the next episode and let's make some money.